Hey y'all, I wanted to show you how I make my cardboard beads, and I can paint them, stain them, and make them into jewelry. So what I do is I'll find me some cardboard, any kind. These boxes seem to be the right width for this project. Um, but I use cereal boxes as well. Cereal and I'll use crackers boxes. It seems to be the right thickness for this. So I cut them out to the size. I think this one is 9.5 by 7. Yeah, so it's 7 or 6. I got it backwards here. Okay, so it's 6 by what, 9? Yeah, 6 by 9. Okay, but you can do whatever size you want. It doesn't matter. The thickness, I will say, if you make them longer, with the 9s. Okay, they come out like this. But you can also do them in the smaller size. And this is 7 inches long. But these here are 1.5 inches wide. 1.5, and I think these are a quarter. Okay, but you can play around with it and see what's the right size that you're comfortable with. But it will make it like this size here will make this size of a bead. Okay, and then the bigger one and that would be that size of a bead. So you can play around with the sizes. And when I stain them and everything, they look like this. So you can do multicolors, and then you can make jewelry out of them. So let's roll one up. So what I like to do to start is, after I've cut them out, I'll just do a little curl like you do with ribbon, and it just helps it to curve. It's more workable this way. And then you just twist it one time. Oops. Twist it one time around, and then put your glue on there. And then just start twirling. Now, a lot of these, you can, the lines that are on here, once you cut them out, and some of them will have like these little lines, and if they bother you, you can just erase them because it's done out of pencil. And so you just twirl it up, and I try to force as much glue as I can into those crevices, because it is cardboard, so you want it to hold and not give. And then we're going to put several coats on it, so it'll definitely seal. And so you can experiment with it. And there you have your perfect little wooden bead, which I just adore. Okay, we can do one more. And again, I like to just twirl it a little bit, get that curve going. And then put it in here. Now, I've seen others that, you know, buy these little rolling machines. And you can do that. There's no right or wrong. However, I prefer to roll each bead by hand and paint each bead by hand, stain them, each bead, because I'm not looking to make a mass production, but I just want, and I want them to look really good, not wonky. I don't like them too wonky. Okay, I guess as perfect as you could possibly get them, because when you add this stain or paint or whatever, you know, it starts to fill in, and then especially when you do your clear base on, you know, clear coat on the top, it really almost like turns it into a marble. It's so beautiful. But anyways, okay, so there we go. Now here's one of the wider ones. It was 1/2 inch, and I can erase put that out of the way, because I erased the pencil. And when you're doing lighter colors, you might want to erase that. But when you're staining, I found that it adds a little depth. So the pencil markings will add depth to your color when you stain it. So I kind of like that too. So I don't mess with it. But again, here we go. Just twirl this up a little bit, because I want my beads to fold ever so gently around to where you got those crevices. So again, we just stick it in here. And start twirling. Glue in there. Just twirl it up. Now sometimes you'll see, like here, it gets a little ridge on there because the paper is separating the layers. I just keep going, because you can squeeze, and once that glue gets saturated in that paper, it becomes a lot more moldable. So you just twirl, 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 twirl. Press, press, press. You see that? And then I can slide back and forth. And again, it'll go right back into place. See? Just like that. Now, you can press these little ridges out. But again, I think it just gives depth to it whenever you're staining them or painting, and all those ridges get to fill in. So it's not perfect, but it's good. It'll be pretty when it's done. And sometimes getting it off if you wait too long, because the glue wants to dry. But yeah, so you can use a machine and pop these babies out as many as you want, or you can take your time and then You can stain them, you can paint them, and then before you know it, you got a whole box full of beads. Isn't that cool? Alright, and then I'll show you what you can make with them in the next video. Alright, share and like. Thank you.